fell into you in the shadow of the staircase. Washed my hands of you in the kitchen sink. And in that house I knew we'd never close this distance. You said, baby, we are closer than you think. So I made love to the idea of your involvement and the conversation we had in the dark. You said you never judged the way I solve my problems. Then you left me in the garden talking art. I just wish we laughed in time. That's all. I just wish we laughed in time. That's all. That's all. Fell out of my soft head the night we left the matter. Bravo maestro, never seen the sky so pink. Fell into your soft bed and stayed the morning after. I said, baby, we are colder than we think. So I made love to the idea of your approval and the conversations we had with our hands. I don't go in for that sort of thing, I told you. Then I sang Stand By Your Man. I just wish we laughed in time. That's all. I just wish we laughed in time. That's all. That's all. I should have told you then that I had slipped you on inside my head. There are bits of you in every journey home. Is it so bad I like the way I look from your side of the bed? You said, baby, did you think I didn't know? Still I made love to the idea of our collusion and the conversation we had on the floor while the backroom boys earned our disapproval. Come on, David, sing one more. I just wish we laughed in time. That's all. That's all. I just wish we laughed in time. That's all. That's all.
Welcome to The Right Note. Morgan McIntyre, Gemma Doherty.
How are you doing?
Dublin's Saint Sister. Yeah. Speaking of which, now this is not a standard question for this show, but I'll explain more about that soon. Do you believe in heaven and hell?
Oh, well, we'll answer separately, I guess. I don't believe in either. I think I would love to, but no, here and now, I guess. I believe in more, yeah.
I did for a long time, but not anymore.
Well, your answers may explain something. Okay. I mean, I've had to verify that you're neither saints nor sisters. And how can we believe anything you say when you blatantly lie?
I know, we're sorry. We hold our hands up. We are not saints.
Yeah, we're
sisters.
Not. But we're, like, what is a saint if you don't believe?
In the traditional idea of this, that's a good answer.
Yeah. So
someone who doesn't tell lies, like claiming they're saints or sisters.
Well, we could have said, oh yeah, I believe in heaven. And that's where we've come from, but we don't.
Can you tell me something truthful about Saint Sister?
About the name or just us in general?
Either.
Oh,
Go the name.
The name. So the
'cause
name
it's easier
came from
than
yeah, a truth about us. The name came from "Oh Sister" first, which my mum came up with, and it's a Bob Dylan song as well. And then someone else was working under that name. So Jem came up with Saint, and we just really wanted sisterhood to be in there somewhere, and Saint seemed to add a little bit of weight to that, and we liked the double S's and how that rolled off the tongue.
And the lies.
And the lies.
I mean, there is that closeness in the sound, and the assumption that the closeness in the sound must mean closeness in the personalities. Do you get along? I mean, this niceness here, is it another lie? Do you actually dislike each other?
Yeah, we do get along. We kind of have to because it's a very close like working relationship when it's like writing and gigging and touring. We spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
But we didn't really know each other. Like when we made the name, we kind of had just decided to form a band. We were kind of strangers at that point. So I don't know like what came first, but it's kind of something that's kind of grown over the last 4 years.
Because you met in Dublin, but you're both from the north.
Yes.
Derry and Belfast.
Yeah.
Or Derry and Belfast, I can't remember which one.
Belfast, there,
Belfast,
yeah. You had it
Derry.
right, yeah.
There was one rule that you two established at the beginning, and coming from different writing styles, and you're more lyrics and melodies.
And yeah.
And you're more in the sort of sound and production side, maybe, but the rule was that everything would be equal.
Yeah.
How does that work? How is everything equal?
Oh, everything has to be equal from the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think from the beginning, the reason that felt important was because you had, when Morgan, you were like an established singer-songwriter.
Wow.
We were coming, like I was kind of in a different world again, like the composition, the choir world, like we were in different places. And you were set up in that place. So when you first reached out to me, I didn't know if it was as a, did you just want someone to like throw down a few lines or play a few shows, or if this was a collaboration, like a new venture. So I think it helped at the start to just figure out what this was. It wasn't like, either of us lending. It was like, we're kind of doing this together. And I think it's just, even just for the mindset of the whole thing, kind of meant that there was no faffing around at the start. It wasn't like, well, what does she want from me, or where do I fit into all this, or vice versa. So I think, and then it's just kind of something that's stuck with us. We try to.
Was it important because at that point you didn't know each other that well, so you set up that rule at the beginning, and build from that rather than impose it later when you...
Possibly. I think it's something that someone said to us, and at the time we were like, it sounds like a bit of a mad thing because there's nothing, it doesn't exist yet. But in hindsight, it was such good advice. So we just kind of threw it out. It wasn't like we have to have a meeting or anything. It was just something that was said.
It was my mum.
It was your, it was your mum, and it was just really good advice that
Yeah.
you only really recognise looking back, like, God, that was actually quite important.
I think so, yeah.
But at the time, there was no band to speak of. There was no music to speak of. So you're talking about like royalties and stuff. It's kind of like, okay, like
Yeah, royalties.
yeah. But it actually was really good advice to just know where you stand. And I think it applies for everyone that you kind of like work with if you can, to just like kind of, it's just good to know where you're at.
It's a good rule to set out those kind of things before things start becoming a problem, I think, whether it's splits or money or anything like that. I think when there's nothing, it's really easy to kind of put very practical rules in place, and that means that there's no kind of debating or fighting, or no one falls out whenever something starts happening.
Yeah. And if somebody's fault, it's your fault as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're both
Culpability.
equally accountable.
There was
For
another
everything.
important element at the beginning, though, and I believe, Chairman, the first time you saw Morgan perform, she was rapping.
Yes.
How good a rapper are you? And could we hear some?
And no, you cannot hear some.
She was good enough for me to go, yeah, I'll be in a band with you and split everything from here on.
I mean, you're reluctant to do it. Is this why you ended up doing more sort of folk electronic influence things?
We honestly didn't know, like, we just didn't know what we would do when we started out. Like,
I knew we wouldn't be rapping.
But
I thought we would be rapping.
I was just kind of up for anything, and you obviously built it off because I was just like, oh yeah, she kind of raps as well. I wonder what is going to happen here.
Yeah.
Because we have a harp. We have that.
Well, there's not a lot of harp in hip hop.
No.
There's not. There's not a lot of rap in whatever it is that we're doing.
Yeah.
So, maybe.
We'll come back to that one maybe.
Well, given you've cast aside the rapping, how important is the harp, not just to the sound, but to the ethos of Saint Sister?
I guess it's kind of become an important part of the show and like the kind of world that our music lives in, because I guess when we started, I know we're joking about the rapping, but it kind of was like we didn't have all that much to go on about each other, and we kind of just started just from the core. It was just us in a room and the two voices, and it was the harp, and that's it's the instrument that feels most natural to me. It's kind of what I've been just always, growing up, it was always the one that I just kind of felt like I could speak most with. But in saying that, I kind of feel like it's just as fun, being at the laptop and making beats or making different kind of sound worlds. But sometimes, no matter what kind of sound we're making or what kind of word it lives in, for whatever reason, I can't quite pinpoint it. It's not that the harp has to be there. It's not on every track. We don't, it's not a rule, like where is that going to fit in? But it's happened a few times where we kind of start a song and it's all there and it doesn't quite feel right yet, and then once the vocals go down and something turns into, once the harp goes down, it kind of goes, oh, it makes sense. Like it happened with the song on the album, You Never Call, and there was not really any harp on that track at all. And something wasn't clicking. There's a part in the verse where we had like some sort of strange bells going on, and I liked the line, but it just wasn't sitting right. And then Brainwave, someone said, why don't you play it on the harp, because there's no harp on there yet, and it just made sense. So it does. It plays a big part for sure, but it's not like it just kind of seems to fit. It's not something that we're
shoehorning in.
Yeah. It's also like just the thing I play.
Yeah.
I don't really like. It's some people kind of say sometimes like, "Oh, when are you going to do like the guitar thing?" And we're like, "Well, we don't play the guitar. It's not a move away from, a sort of setup that we already have. It's just like that's what we have. So that's what we use."
You mentioned, both of you mentioned before the reason for going to Dublin and some of the differences. I mean, from the outside, apart from the obvious difference in accent, the north and south, which neither of you have particularly strong anyway, but what are the differences, if any, now that you've spent, 5 years in Dublin? 7?
Yeah.
What are the differences between Irish to the north and Irish to the south?
Well, it's a dangerous question.
We can only speak for us, but
yes, yeah. What do you?
I just like led.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll continue.
That was a cop-out.
I think, yeah, certainly in my family, because my dad is from the south and my mum is from the north, so I have family on both sides, and I definitely think the northern family are very good at the really good black humour, like very, I don't know if that's across the board, but I feel like the Southern Irish kind of humour is a little bit more soft and a little bit more lilty and kind of just a little bit softer, whereas in the north I think they're very good at those very like cutting, but always like funny and the best, or whenever you don't feel hurt by the joke, but the humour is a little bit different. I think that it's a little bit more kind of a little darker edge to the northern humour. I guess it's one, they're so close. There are differences, but we're back and forth so often, and people are kind of
definitely the humour is a not only one I really noticed a couple of years ago. Sometimes when you leave a place is when you really then get to know it, I guess, or get a sort of different insight into it. But it is still surprising how even just there's a lot of people who still haven't like been to the north.
Yeah, I think maybe
Which
that's it. That
really
people don't
struck
know about
me
it. Yeah.
When I moved to Dublin, you're just kind of like, oh, we're all here and it's all the same. But then there were people kind of still a bit of like, you'd be a bit surprised by people kind of still saying, do you need your passport to get home and stuff? And I'm like, no. Like, it was the realisation that not everyone thinks of the north the way we still think of the south.
Some people be afraid and stuff to go down, which is, or go up.
You can see, you know, from our generation, people's parents and stuff, like back when they were growing up back in the 80s and stuff, it was a different place, but it's changed so much. So yeah, everyone should come and see it because it's lovely.
One of the big differences, again, from the outside seems to be the surprising social progressiveness of the South. And in the time that you've been living in the South, equal marriage, abortion, as two young women living through that, was it an encouraging, an exciting time to be Irish?
It was amazing. Yeah, it's been a really powerful energy there. Like, just especially I think coming off the back of the marriage referendum, when the abortion rights referendum came about, it was just this energy that like, well, we can do that, we can change that, and we did, and they're just incredible people kind of who've been working for so many years, and it was just great. That energy was it was strong, like, wasn't it? But
so
just
powerful.
as you're saying that, we have been based in Dublin for a while, and you really do get caught up in that whole energy. But the moment it passed, we both just had this kind of like, the feeling left you and just thinking of home, like that there's so much it's a very different situation at home. And we were both just kind of hit with this immediate, like, God, there's still a lot
to be done.
A long way to go.
Yeah.
Which kind of,
Maybe it'll take refugees from the north, like you, heading back and changing it.
Well, there's just so much going on.
We're in a bit of a tricky situation at the moment in terms of our government is sitting and nothing's getting done, and it's a bit of a dire situation. But there's a lot of amazing people in the north that are fighting for change. So I'm sure they're more than capable of bringing it over. It's just needing the politicians to kind of wake up and do their jobs, I would say.
And the artists maybe to show the way as well.
Oh yeah, well we'll do anything we can. It's but it was
as long as no one asks that you only tell the truth.
Exactly. Oh yeah, because we're liars. But yeah, it was one of those amazing moments when it passed in the south, and then kind of equal parts gut-wrenching when you think of everyone back home. So
it's a bit of a low but simultaneously high note to end. So, Saint Sister, thank you very much for being on the right note.
Thank you so much.
Oh, we said that at the same time.
We stand hand in hand like corpses. Our friends are corpses too. And the man who took the photograph likes a look of you. We stand hand in hand like corpses. Our friends are corpses too. And the man who gave the epitaph said, I wonder, darling, I have tried to fix you. I can't count the times that I have kissed you. I never thought that when you build our home, you make it out of blood and bones. Darling, one of us should go. My eyes were the this day that I chose. I'm dead. You said I bled, you tried, darling. I have tried to fix you. I can't count the times that I have kissed you. I never thought that when you built our home, you'd make it out of blood and bones. Darling, one of us should go. It's contagious, my fear and your pain. We look like corpses and our friends look the same. And we all stood together, for worse or for better. We all stood together for a photograph. Yes, we all stood together, for worse or for better. We all stood together for a photograph. You're dead. I'm dead. You said I bled, you tried, darling. I have tried to fix you. I can't count the times that I have kissed you. I never thought that when you built our home, you'd make it out of blood and bones. Darling, one of us should go.